Hello, Latin 2. All right, we have spent a lot of time going over the accusative plus infinitive indirect statements, and some of you are probably hurting for some more grammar lessons. So, we know the imperfect subjunctive and we know the pluperfect subjunctive. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you 4 very short lessons on the formation of all the subjunctives across the board, and that way you can start to get those into your memory, okay? So we're going to start tonight with the present subjunctive. If you take a look at page 257 in your books, you'll see it pretty much broken down for you. There's a simple chart. You know, I would have had you copy that down for homework and collected it the next day and whatnot, but absent that, here's what we're doing, okay? So I'm not going to talk about the uses of the subjunctive in this particular video or this series. We will go back to that pretty shortly, but I just wanted these 4 things to be in your head and kind of bouncing around because they are ones that are important to know. So the first one is the present subjunctive, okay? Now, the active present subjunctive is going to use the present infinitive stem, okay? It's the second principal part. It's very simple. And then you're going to use what I call, quote, the wrong endings. It's going to look like when you were in Latin 1 and those kids that didn't make it with us kept putting those endings on to the end of the verb. In the passive, you're going to actually do it the exact same way. You're going to use the present infinitive stem, and you're going to use the wrong passive endings, okay? So in both cases, you're going to use what I call the wrong endings. So what that means is, after I spill my salt, if you take a look at the first conjugation right here, portem, portes, portet, portemus, portetis, portent. Now, it's a first conjugation verb, but it's doing the ms et thing, okay? It almost looks like somebody mixed up the future ahead of time, or it just looks like they got stuck on the wrong pattern. Now, when you get to the second conjugation, active, again, it's all backward for me, so it takes a second. What's really obvious here, okay, so up here, it just looks like someone did a bad job on the firsts. But right here, what's really obvious is you have that combination of the EA in the verb. Anytime you see that EA in the verb, I haven't seen a single verb thus far that conjugates in the indicative with an EA in it, okay, as far as that close to the ending. So you keep your thematic vowel, right? So the E, and then you add on as, at. So moeam, moeas, moeat. And if you remember gaudeamus igitur or cum eam in both of those songs, you will start to hear that, oh, we've been using those quite a bit. In the thirds, it's meet, and then that short E just disappears completely and it gets swallowed up again by the A. So mitam, mitas, mitat, mitamus, mitatis, mitant is very, very regular. It just happens to be in the subjunctive. It just looks like someone did it wrong. Ios of the third, yakiam, yakias, yakiat, yakiamus, yakiatis, yakiant. And in the fourths, they do the same thing. Audiam, audias, audiat, audiamus, audiatis, audiant. Now, in the passives, okay, you're going to use the same stem, just like I said. You're still going to use the second principal part, so port, right? And instead of the A staying in there, it just gets swallowed up by the E. So porter, porteris, portetur, portemur, portemini, and portentur, okay? In the second conjugation, you see moear, moearis, moeatur, moeamur, moeamini, moeantur. So it's still all your standard endings. It's just that we have to mix up the letters so that we know that we're in a slightly different reality. And that, to me, that's what these misspellings represent, is like that the subjunctive is just a little bit removed from reality. So it's familiar, but just a little off. Mitar, mitaris, mitatur, mitamur, mitamini, mitantur. And again, it's just aris, atur. All the way down, really. Yakiar, yakiaris, yakiatur, amur, yakiamini, yakiantur. Audiar, audiaris, audiantur, audiamur, audiamini, audiantur. And that's essentially how it works. It's basically the same as screwing up the passives and screwing up the presents in the different declensions or conjugations. Okay, so that's how you do the present tense. The next one will be about doing the imperfect tense, just so that we have that review. You should probably fly through that one pretty quickly. And then we'll do the perfects, which are odd, and then we'll do the pluperfects, okay? No exercises with this just yet, although I'm going to catch up on the translation soon, and I'm also going to be pushing you forward on some more grammar. But right now I wanted to get these in your head. I recommend very strongly that you actually take the good time and trouble to conjugate some verbs. If we were in class, I'd be making you add these present tenses to all the verbs that you'd already done. There would have been 11 verbs. You would just get to practice in 11 a night and stuff like that. So that's the present tense, subjunctive, both active and passive. Okay? I'm going to hit the button.